Trinity and Aniya's sister addressed scamming allegations, and Casey fumbled when we announced what Aniya's got coming up, y'all. Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today we are talking Love Island USA Season 8 postseason, aka the gift that keeps on giving, you guys. There's a lot that we got to get into. So, ultimately, there is still a lot of the people that are talking about Trinity and Karnaya's Watch What Happens Live appearance. I cannot stress enough for Karnaya. This was their first public interview, first time being back in front of the cameras since the season finale a couple of weeks ago, and all of the things. And ultimately as well, Trinity has been together for day one. They're going on 8-9 weeks together total, whereas Aniya and Carl have only been together in the villa for about a couple weeks or so, and then are dating each other outside of the villa for a couple of weeks, but managing a long distance relationship while Aniya is very booked and busy, which we are going to get into in a moment. So there's been a lot of discourse, a lot of back and forth on the internet as far as, fans trying to be body language experts, trying to do all these tarot readings, astrology readings, and trying to analyze and dissect and all the things, right? So Aniya had appeared. I don't know how she's sneaking in and out of these airports. The only reason that we knew that she made it home to Atlanta was because her dad had filmed her. You know what I'm saying? Filmed that, he was there to pick her up. But I had no clue when Aniya got through that Atlanta airport and made it safely to NYC. And I don't even know how many days she was in NYC. It may have been one day, it may have been two. I don't know. But I know that she quick, fast, in a hurry, has booked it over to the West Coast, is in Los Angeles. Why do I know she's in Los Angeles? Because Kata had posted a tickety talk, and she had said that she was in Los Angeles. Those of you who do not know, Kata has just signed with UTA. That is the same talent agency that Bryce is signed to. So Trinity is with WME. Aniya's with Gersh, Kenzie's with Gersh. We are still waiting on Melanie, and we are not sure if Sincere, Carl, or Zack Attack will be signing with any agencies or any of the sorts, right? And there's rumors about Caleb, but we'll have to see, right? Ultimately, like I said, Kata let us know that she was in Los Angeles. She posted a tickety talk last night with her and Aniya that would indicate Aniya is in Los Angeles, and she had on another cat suit, y'all. She had on another cat suit and all of the things. Now, then Melanie posted on the Instagrammy stories, Melanie's. She posted her knees. It looked like the girls might have either been going out or heading to a sleepover. I don't know. But it was her knees on the bed. Aniya was laying down in front of her, and Kata was on the phone. I don't know if she was FaceTiming with Trinity or what the case may be, or FaceTiming with Zack Attack. I'm not sure, but I am hoping that we are getting Core 4 content. I am hoping we are getting some Core 4 press. That is what I'm hoping. That we can just get interviews with just Aniya, Kata, Melanie, and Trinity. So I'm hoping that is the reason that they're in Los Angeles, and hopefully soon we should hear about what agency Melanie is signed to. I would think at this point it would have to be CAA, right? It would have to be CAA, and we can move forward from there. Next, we got to talk about the scamming allegations that are heavily taking place against both Karnaya and Trinity, right? And here's the thing. I'm not here to convince you whether Karnaya is real or not. I am here not to convince you whether Trinity is real or not, because ultimately you guys are going to feel how you're going to feel, right? It's unfortunate that season 7 in particular that has done a lot of wild things in the fan base, and I'm talking about the extremists. I'm talking about the extremists that plot and plan in the group chats on how they're going to attack these other islanders, on how they hope to break up these other couples or break up these other friendships due to the stan wars of it all, and hopes that the islanders, especially on Twitter/X, will feed into the frenzy, will feed into the madness of it all. So far, it appears that the core 4 is not even effing with Twitter/X, because I think they've got family members, they may got burners, and they're seeing how bad the discourse is over there. So smart of them not to be on Twitter/X. It seems like they have been able to have a happy medium between content on the Instagrammies and the Tickety Talk. And I think that is fantastic. I think that is a perfect approach for the core 4 to really tap in. Continue to build up your followers on the Tickety Talk and on the Instagrammies, and continue what you're doing with the content. Never be on Twitter/X. There is a lot of negativity. There's a lot of setup accounts pretending to be fake fan pages, in particularly of ANIYA and Trinity, pretending to be fans, pretending to have their profile pictures, but secretly they're in group chats, basically like, we need to uplift this person. We need to still promote this person from season 7. We still need to do this and that. And it's not coming from a genuine place. That is not a representative. A group chat of 20 or 30 people or of 60 people talking crazy about these islanders is not representative of the major fan base that the core 4 has. I want to say that again. These little group chats that are being messy, that people are screenshotting and leaking stuff of where people are talking cash shit about these other islanders, that is not representative of the major core 4 fan base and all of the opportunities and brand deals and more that is down the pike for these ladies. Now, speaking of scamming allegations, we've got to get into this, right? Because a lot of people still do not believe in Trinity and Bryce, right? And a lot of people are spreading the, oh, well, Nicolandria was in a 1-year contract. Now it's Brinity's turn to be in a 1-year contract. And I'm like, you can't even compare these two couples. But it's weird that people are saying this Neil when Nicolandria began, and the whole thing, anytime anybody tried to indicate or imply or insinuate that anything was fake or that this was business or that initially there might have been an attempt to give it a go and then they were business partners ever since, if you said any of that, you know what I'm saying, you would get drug up and through here. But I feel like people have so much PTSD, and I feel like as well, so many people do not want to see Trinity or ANIYA receive genuine love and receive genuine interest from a man. And it's really sad and it's really unfortunate that, you know what I'm saying, that this has to be what it is. So we're going to get to what happened with Trinity first, and then we're going to get to what happened with ANIYA's sister second. So somebody was in the Instagrammy comments on Trinity's post about her Watch What Happens Live appearance, and somebody said, another PR couple with the heartbreak emoji, I have no more hope in anything authentic in America, LOL. So then Trinity replies and says, mind you, you don't know either of us in real life, LOL, so I hope that helps with a heart emoji. Next, we got to get into people calling ANIYA and Carl fake. So over on the Tickety Talk, people are dissecting ANIYA and Carl on Watch What Happens Live. So there was a comment that said they aren't even sitting close to each other. They look like they're friends because Carl and ANIYA are in stools while Trinity and Bryce are in seats. Stop trying to speculate. Let them live. And then one of ANIYA's sisters, Angel, said, babe, my sister talks to Carl nonstop every day. So, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody replied, exactly, period. And somebody said, clock it, man. I wish me and my sister had a bond like y'all. It's interesting to me because I feel like Trinity and Karnaya are on two different wavelengths in their relationship, right? Trinity won the show. Trinity had plans of moving to Los Angeles. Her and Bryce haven't been apart. They have been together since day one on the show. Their progression as a couple is going to be a lot more advanced, really, compared to any of these other couples, right? Because ultimately, Kata and Zack Attack have been together, you know what I'm saying, like a day or two less than, you know, Trinity, and he still will not make Kata his girlfriend or say, I love you. But anyways, the core four is 10 toes down, right? But because they're trying to show you glimpses of themselves as a couple, you feel that it's fake, you feel that it's PR. But then on the flip side, if you don't see enough of a couple, like what is happening with ANIYA and Carl, which low-key reminds me of how Bergie and Taylor moved from season 5, because they were also in a long-distance relationship because Bergie had school and other things, is you're calling them fake, you're calling them friends. I think, and I'm going to stand 10 toes down on this, I think everybody but Bryce was nervous for Watch What Happens Live. I truly believe everyone but Bryce was nervous for Watch What Happens Live, and it could be because of the fact that Bryce has been around people, has been out and about before with the DJing, and knows several celebrities, so he seemed the most comfortable. Everyone else seemed extremely nervous, right? But ANIYA and Carl in particularly were very, very nervous. They handled it well. I made a note of the fact that at the beginning, since it's Shotsky night, there was a table in the middle in between of their two stools that had drinks on it for the Shotsky, right? And I noticed each commercial break, Carl was trying to bring that chair closer together, right? And by the end of the show or by the after show, they were a lot closer or whatever as far as holding hands and intimate touches and all of the things. But it's just really crazy that you guys have this perception of your mind of how a couple should be in order for them to make you convinced that they're real or not. And the reality is, none of y'all know these people. And some of these couples that you guys are hyping up, that are spending all this time every day, all day, like Kenzie and Dylan, they're not getting scamming allegations. I wonder why. But I could see clear as day that there was some stuff that was sus regarding Dylan. But you know what I'm saying? But y'all don't give any scamming allegations, because to me it looked like Kenzie was done with this man when he was crying and having a whole meltdown because she kissed another dude. And I stand on, I believe what Melanie said, I believe what Corbin said. That had there not been backlash with Jen and the villa getting sick of Kenzie's shenanigans, Kenzie would have tried to explore. Kenzie would have tried to pull Carl for a chat. Kenzie would have tried to see if production was going to send her another bombshell. Because she was done with Dylan. But at some point, she realized that the show was about to end and needed to lock in. I find it very fast that y'all go from figuring things out to the After Sun episode, Kenzie saying she's not going to do anything with Dylan until he makes things exclusive. Then on the actual After Sun appearance, basically makes the announcement that they're exclusive. And then fast forward barely a couple of weeks later, you're asking for photographers and for videographers and stuff so you could do a grand gesture girlfriend proposal at the Empire State Building, which is fine. But even your bestie, Carl, and you know what I'm saying? They felt this was a little bit premature. Because Kenzie and Dylan haven't been together no longer, you know what I'm saying, than ANIYA and Carl. Maybe like, ANIYA and Carl maybe have like a few less days or so in comparison, but y'all came in at the same time at Casa. And there's been drama in between with you full on pursuing another man with Gal and kissing a whole nother man. So to go from that to this, and nobody's questioning it. Everyone thinks that just because you're attached at the hip, that means that you guys are so into each other and so inseparable. But the other side is, I can argue, this could be a brand opportunity. This could be an opportunity to sell this as a couple in hopes that brands want to feature you for couples content, for couples brand deals, and all the things. I don't feel that same way about TRINITY, because I feel like TRINITY, they genuinely like each other. And they've been together since the beginning, so the brands were always going to be there for them. They were always going to have that demand. The final story I need to get to is ANIYA had blessed us with the vlog on the Tickety Talk. And ANIYA, if you're seeing this, I really hope that you consider creating a YouTube. I think you will do really well on the YouTube. And I don't know how long, it wasn't too long of a video on the Tickety Talk, but it was funny because ANIYA gave this long intro that she was going to give us all this content about her time in New York. And I'm here to tell you, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She gave us so much in the intro, but we needed the rest of the content from New York. But I love it. I love, you know, what ANIYA is doing. So she came in basically and was like, listen, look at here. I'm in New York. Let's toast a glass. I want to show you guys a little bit more about me. And when she said a little bit more about me, that's what she meant. She said, I'm going to see my cousin TRINITY, and showed a screenshot of the two of them. She said, I'm going to see my man, and she posted a screenshot of her and Carl and all this and all of that. And then she said, and I also am excited to see Bryce, and showed the meme of him during Casa Amor where he is crying in the bed. Or alone in the bed, or whatever the case may be. But she said she said that she was there. She showed us getting glam and everything else. And I didn't know what that brown leather outfit was for. Because she said primarily she's there for Watch What Happens Live. She's going to see what's going to happen. She showed us getting ready for that. Then there was a portion of the video where apparently she was talking, but it was on mute, so she had to talk over the muted video. And she let us know that she just wrapped up an ebony photo shoot, you guys. An ebony photo shoot. Now, I don't know if this is going to include her and her cousin TRINITY. I don't know if this is a solo photo shoot that ANIYA's got going on. I don't know if TRINITY and Bryce have a separate photo shoot, because I saw her wear a Cosmopolitan hat. So I don't know if potentially they've got something going with Cosmopolitan. But that's why I said in my intro, Casey fumbled. That's why I said in my intro, Casey fumbled. And I believe wholeheartedly he was intending to go back to ANIYA before all of the madness that happened at that Casa recoupling. And even then, I think Casey was expecting ANIYA to grovel back to him, or for her and TT to fight over him so that he could be the one to make a decision, so he could have all this. Or I stand in it. I stand in it, you guys. And then Carl came back. And once Carl came back, you had to lock in with TT, right? But this is where Casey fumbled and missed the bigger picture, right? I think at some point, Casey realized, ANIYA's way of doing things, her upbringing, things that she values, like men being chivalrous, like men being kind, like men doing stuff and showing their interest and all of this and all of that. Casey's not about that. You know what I'm saying? He's had some Kevin Samuels reposts where he's saying chivalry is DEAD. He's not into the fairy tale stuff. He's not into any of that, right? But you could have had an ebony cover with ANIYA. You could have had an ebony cover with ANIYA. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really unfortunate that, Casey and ANIYA couldn't get it together, but I stand on the fact they were not compatible. And ultimately, we'll see what happens at the reunion, because unfortunately we're going to have to talk Casey and ANIYA again August 31st. And if anybody releases any tea that happens at this reunion, since Peacock is bent on having a live studio audience for some reason, they're not going to care about any NDAs. They're going to spill somewhere and give it to somebody of what they got to witness at the taping. I think it's a huge mistake, because we have an unhinged fan base that wants to jump ANIYA and Trinity at the reunion. So if you already have people that want to jump these Islanders, you don't think that they're not going to hesitate to go somewhere and spill tea or give it the information to a major content creator of what did and didn't happen at the reunion to sabotage? That's all, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's all I had for this video. Is I wanted to talk about, you know, more fallout of the Watch What Happens live appearance of TRINITY and Carnaya, and that ANIYA's in LA, and I'm not sure yet if TRINITY is back in LA, although somebody alleged that they saw Bryce at a coffee shop in LA, but I don't know. I do also know Carl hung out in New York with Ronnie from Casa. I do know that his mom was there, and that one of Carl's besties lives in New York and is from New York and was there, you know, hanging out with Carl and ANIYA backstage after the Watch What Happens live appearance. So I don't know whether or not Carl is still in New York, or if Carl went to Denver, or if Carl is going to be in LA for a part of the press, or whatever is happening LA as well, because the reunion does not film until August 10th. So I don't know that information. You know what I'm saying? I only know what these people show us. And it seems that ANIYA has been able to master the art of not being seen at the airport, of not being seen out in public yet, and has been able to zoom her way in and out of these streets, and nobody's able to spot her. And I'm very confused. I am very confused, but that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of Trinity and ANIYA's sister, you know, defending them in terms of people making the scamming allegations? What do you think of ANIYA going to be on Ebony for a photo shoot? What do you guys think of everything? Please, 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 please do me the biggest favor, and that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. Hype the video like you never hyped a video before in your life. There is that. That is it. That is all. Es todos es final. Es finito. Is he in the road? Is he in the line for this video? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.